Before we dive into the main topic, please take a moment to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this podcast, and leave a comment to support the channel. Your engagement truly helps.
It really does. It helps us keep these deep dives coming.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today we are tackling a subject that feels, universally understood. Until you're actually standing there exhausted, holding a heavy suitcase, trying to make yourself understood in a second language.
Right.
We are navigating the world of hotels.
The hotel experience, it's the backdrop to almost every travel story, isn't it?
Yeah.
But specifically today, we're looking at the language of the hotel.
Exactly. And I think for a lot of people, especially if you're learning English at that A1 or A2 level.
The beginning stages.
Yeah, or even just brushing up. The hotel is a high-stakes environment. You need a place to sleep. You need food. If you can't communicate those basic needs, the trip starts off on a pretty stressful note.
It is a classic sort of sink or swim scenario.
Mhm.
But the good news, and what we found in the source material, is that hotel interactions are highly scripted.
Oh, that's interesting.
They follow a chronological pattern. If you know the script, you can navigate the situation with, well, total confidence.
That's our mission today, then. We are going to walk through that script. From the moment the sliding door is open at reception to the moment you hand back the key and leave. We'll break down the essential nouns, the polite verbs, and the questions that get you what you want.
And we aren't just teaching you the word for bed. We want to look at the nuance. How do you ask for a better room? How do you, dispute a bill? It's about empowerment.
I love that. So let's set the scene. You've just arrived. The taxi has driven away. You walk into the lobby. Where are we heading first?
We are heading to the nerve center of the hotel.
The reception.
The reception.
Now, usually there's a counter, maybe a bell if it's an old school place, but before you even get to speak, there's usually a hurdle, the paperwork.
Ah, the dreaded form. Even in the digital age, you will almost always hear the phrase, "Please fill in this form."
Fill in. That's a key phrasal verb right there. It sounds so bureaucratic.
It is, but it's standard procedure. They need your details. And it's not just about writing your name. It's a legal requirement in many countries. They need your passport details, your home address.
Right. It can feel like a test you didn't study for.
And there's usually that awkward silence while you are writing, and the receptionist is just watching you.
Exactly.
And at the end of that process, there is a very specific instruction, an imperative you need to listen for. Sign your name here.
Or just sign here, please.
That signature is your legal acknowledgement. It's usually accompanied by a finger pointing to a dotted line. If you miss that cue, you're just sort of standing there.
Okay, let's rewind a tiny bit because that all assumes you have a booking. But let's say you're being spontaneous. You walk in off the street. What are the magic words?
You have two main avenues here, depending on who you're with. If you're traveling solo, the question is, do you have a single room?
Straightforward.
Yeah.
Single room, one person.
Correct. And if you are with a partner or, a friend, you ask, do you have a double room?
Now, is there a distinction there between a double room and a twin room in our sources? Because I've definitely walked into a double room with a friend and found one bed, which was intimate.
That is a crucial distinction. Generally, a double implies one large bed for two people. A twin would be two separate beds. The sources focus on single and double, but yeah, travelers should definitely be aware.
Good advice. But let's be real, most of us book online these days. So if I've booked on an app, how do I announce myself?
You simply say, I have a reservation.
I have a reservation. It's such a strong sentence. It feels good to say.
It shifts the dynamic immediately.
Yeah.
You aren't asking for a favor. You are claiming a contract. You belong there. And you follow it with, my name is.
And then you wait for the typing. Now, this next part is my favorite because sometimes we want to be a little fancy. We don't just want a room. We want the room.
The upgrade request.
Our source material has this specific phrase. We'd like a room with a view of the sea.
It's a beautiful phrase to practice. And grammatically, look at the prepositions there. A view of the sea.
Right, not to the sea. A view of.
And it implies you're willing to pay for that experience. It signals to the receptionist that you care about the aesthetics of the stay.
And it works for other things too, I guess. A room with a view of the city or a room with a balcony.
Precisely. It's about customizing your stay using polite language. We would like.
It changes the nature of the request. You aren't just buying sleep, you're buying a morning coffee with a view.
Exactly. So let's say the receptionist has found your booking. They've decided whether or not to give you that sea view. Now they are handing you something.
Here is your key.
The Holy Grail.
And with the key comes the direction. This is where listening is so vital. They will say something like, your room is on the first floor.
Okay, stop there. We have to flag this for our listeners.
Oh, yeah.
The first floor.
Yeah.
This trips people up all the time.
Huge potential for confusion here.
In the U.S., the first floor is the ground floor. You walk in, you're on the first floor. But in the U.K. and Europe, which our source material seems to lean towards, the first floor is the one above the ground floor.
So if you're in London and they say first floor and you just walk down the hall, you're going to be lost.
You are going to be staring at a broom closet. You need to go up.
And to go up, they will tell you to take the lift.
Lift, not elevator. Our source is very clear on that. It's much shorter, easier to say.
And they'll usually add a directional phrase.
It's over there.
Yeah.
Vague yet essential. You have to watch where they point.
And finally, before you head to the lift, the test of your strength versus your budget. Would you like some help with your luggage?
Luggage. That's the uncountable noun for all your bags and suitcases.
I'm curious, do you say yes to this?
It depends on the hotel. If it's a grand old place, yes, it's part of the service. If it's a budget motel, I'm probably clinging to my own bag.
Fair enough. So, we've navigated the lobby, we have the key, we've taken the lift, we open the door. Let's do a mental walkthrough of the room.
The sanctuary.
Based on the vocabulary we have, there are some non-negotiables. Obviously, the bed.
The bed, the TV, and the phone. The trinity of the hotel room.
The phone is an interesting relic, isn't it? I mean, we all have smartphones. Why is the room phone still so prominent?
Because it's a closed-loop system. You don't use it to call friends. You use it to solve problems. If the heating is broken or you need towels, that phone is your direct line to a human who can fix it.
Good point. It's the help me button. Okay, let's step into the bathroom. What are we seeing?
A shower, naturally, and a hairdryer.
Can we talk about hotel hairdryers for a second? Why are they always attached to the wall with that vacuum cleaner hose?
It's theft prevention, mostly. But from a language perspective, this is a very common item to request. I need a hairdryer.
Why would you need to ask for it?
It happens all the time that a room doesn't have one, or it's broken, or it's hidden somewhere. Being able to name the object is the only way to get a replacement.
That's a key insight for learners. You can't complain effectively if you don't know the noun.
Exactly. If you call reception and just say the wind machine is broken, they might send up a fan. You need to be precise.
Now, there's one more object in the room that is, well, it's fraught with danger. The mini bar.
The little box of expensive snacks.
That looks so inviting. A little chocolate bar after a long flight.
But this connects directly to a word we'll discuss at the end, the bill. The mini bar is basically a financial trap for the weary traveler.
They're never free.
Never. So when you see mini bar, you should immediately think about your wallet.
So we've settled in, we've inspected the hairdryer, avoided the mini bar. Now we need actual service.
This is where we shift from nouns to verbs. And if you look at the source material, almost every request is framed with can I or how.
Can I? The Swiss Army knife of travel English.
It really is. It's soft, polite, but direct. Can I order? Can I have? It works for almost everything.
Okay, let's apply that to food.
Yeah.
You're jet lagged. You don't want to go out.
You pick up that phone we talked about and say, can I order room service?
Room service. The height of luxury.
Or laziness. Sometimes self-care looks like laziness.
True. And what about the next morning?
Can I have breakfast in my room, please?
This feels very decadent. But practically speaking, usually you just need to know when to eat.
Right. You don't want to go down to the restaurant at 10:05 and find they're clearing away the eggs.
Yeah.
So you ask, what time is breakfast?
What time? That is a chunk of language you can just paste onto anything. What time is dinner? What time is checkout?
Exactly. It's a functional block. It helps you organize your schedule.
Let's go back to the phone. You mentioned it's an internal system, but what if I actually need to call someone in another country and my mobile has no signal?
You need to ask reception for permission to break out of that internal loop. The phrase is, how do I get an outside line?
An outside line. It sounds so technical, like something from a spy movie.
It just means connecting to the external telephone network. Usually you have to press 9 or 0 before dialing. You need to ask how to know which button it is.
And if you're calling internationally, you might need help. Our source gives a very specific example here. What is the code for Poland?
I love that. What is the code for Poland? Even if you are calling Brazil or Japan, the structure is the same. What is the code for country?
Okay, let's talk about waking up. We all have alarms on our phones, but I still use this hotel service sometimes.
The wake-up call.
Can I have a wake-up call at 6:30, please?
Why do you use it if you have a phone?
Paranoia. I'm terrified my battery will die, or I set it for PM instead of AM. The hotel phone ringing is aggressive. It works.
It is a fail-safe. And linguistically, it's a great test of your ability to say time. 6:30. You have to be precise.
Another service that feels a bit old school but is still useful is currency exchange.
The phrase is, can I change some money, please? Or exchange. Both work.
Hotels don't usually give the best rates, though, do they?
Rarely. But in a pinch, if you need cash for a taxi right when you arrive, it's a lifesaver phrase to know.
Now, there is one question you should probably ask before you do any of this. The big money question.
How much is?
How much is a single room with a bathroom?
And note that detail. With a bathroom.
Is that necessary? Don't all rooms have bathrooms? I feel like that's standard.
In a modern chain hotel, yes.
Yeah.
But in a charming, historic bed and breakfast in Europe, not necessarily. You might have a sink in the room, but the toilet and shower are down the hall.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is a deal breaker for me.
If that's a deal breaker, you must memorize the phrase, with a bathroom.
Oh.
You are confirming it's en suite.
Crucial advice. Okay, fast forward. The trip is over. It's time to go. We return to the reception desk.
The departure. The timeline concludes.
How do we initiate the breakup?
Can I check out, please?
Check out. The opposite bookend to check in.
Simple phrasal verbs, check in, check out.
And then comes the painful moment. The financial reckoning.
Can I have the bill, please?
The bill. Now, the receptionist hands you a piece of paper, and they will usually say something specific here.
Please check your bill.
Please check your bill. They aren't just making conversation, are they? They're telling you to audit them.
Because mistakes happen. All the time.
Yeah.
Maybe they charge you for a breakfast you didn't eat.
Or maybe they caught you on the minibar.
Exactly. If we look at the sample bill in our source material, it lists specific line items. Room service, 30.00. International calls, 40.00.
Wait, 40 for calls? That call to Poland was expensive?
This is why we warned you about the outside line. But this illustrates why you have to read the bill. You need to be able to identify these words so you understand where your money went.
You can't dispute a charge if you don't know what room service means.
Precisely.
And once you agree that the damage is accurate,
we end exactly where we began. The receptionist will say, sign here, please.
You sign, you pay, you leave.
And you have successfully survived the hotel ecosystem.
It's satisfying when you look at it as a complete narrative arc. Arrival, survival, departure.
And when you break it down like that, the language isn't overwhelming, it's functional. You don't need to be Shakespeare to get a towel. You just need to know towel and the phrase, can I have?
That's a really comforting way to look at it. It's not about fluency, it's about function.
Exactly. 90% of hotel interactions are covered by the phrases we discussed today. You might not be discussing philosophy with the concierge, but you will get a warm bed and a hot meal.
And really, isn't that what we all want?
It is indeed.
So we've arrived, checked in, ordered room service, got a wake-up call, and checked out. A whirlwind tour.
A very productive stay.
Before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier. The room with a view.
The premium request.
It makes me wonder,
Yeah.
why is that so important to us? We pay more for that view of the sea or the city, but honestly, how much time do we actually spend looking at it?
That's a fascinating psychological question. Is it about the actual visual experience, or is it about the feeling of where you are?
Right. Does the room feel bigger just because you know the ocean is right there, or is it a status thing?
It might be about possibility. The possibility of looking out and seeing something beautiful, even if you keep the curtains closed half the time.
Something to mull over the next time you're booking a trip. Are you paying for the view for your eyes or for your soul?
Deep thoughts for a hotel room.
Always.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope you feel ready to walk into any hotel lobby from London to Sydney with your head held high and your vocabulary ready.
Absolutely. Safe travels.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like, and leave a comment to support the channel.